Let's dive into capitalism, consultancy insights,
and we'll
and the
enjoy
power
it.
of sprint
Not
workouts
to
for
like I
growth.
say, we'll be sour in the moment, but I'm not. It's not something I'm calling my parents
Yeah,
about. You
I,
expect to win.
I know, right? So, moving on. Are you still doing this President's Club, your company?
Yes.
Can you talk about that?
Yeah. So for right now, it's a consultancy. It's a consultancy that's wrapped into the investment bank. It's going to be on a case by case basis, and it's basically for our clients. It isn't. It's not exclusively, but what it's formed into is for our clients that aren't yet ready to receive essentially big money, but they know they will need it in the future. How can they get themselves there? Today, whether it's managerial consulting or just fixing their capital stack to make it more attractive for a hedge fund or us to lend to them in the future. So right now it's a consultancy, and there's going to be a Forbes like element to it that I'm going to keep under wraps right now. But we want to both consult them and also highlight their companies to bring more exposure to them.
And you don't want to drink anything? Or are you good?
No, I'm good. I'm
Good.
good.
Okay. All
During
right.
the day,
Okay.
we're during the day.
Okay. Cool. All right. And are you still like running track as workouts and stuff like that?
Yeah, pretty much every morning.
Okay.
Like this morning I did it was sprints. I did two sets of a 250 100s with
Okay.
a 50-meter walk in between. It sucks, but I don't know, I just love doing it now. And it keeps you in shape. It's like if you do a sprint track workout,
Uh-huh.
it's it's like it's like the equivalent physically, at least it feels like.
Mhm.
I'm kind of exaggerating here, but like doing almost 3 days worth of weightlifting.
Okay.
It's like you're more cut.
Yeah.
It's very It's a very anabolic thing to do to sprint at high speeds.
And are you like tracking your performance? Like you're like, okay, I ran this thing today. I need to improve next day. Do anything like that?
Um, I don't do it in a meticulous way,
Okay.
like because I mean I know what I'm doing, so I can just do it all in my head. Uh, like I can tell you workouts that I've done up to like 4 weeks back now. I keep track of my cycles, um, and I'm doing. I wish I did this when I was actually competing, but I do a much better job of knowing when I need to recover now
Okay.
because I'm almost 30 now. So I just cannot do. I can't train as hard as I used to when I was 20. I was an animal.
Yeah.
To my own fault. Like it hurt me more than it helped me. But psychologically, I just could not do that. I just always went balls to the wall.
So next, what is capitalism?
What is capitalism? Um, I think capitalism. I would argue not what I think. What it is it's an efficient way to distribute resources. Uh, like, well, I mean, what is it? Literally, it's a market system based on capital. It's a way to distribute value to receive goods and services, and to exchange that value to the people who are producing it.
So why do you think in the United States specifically, capitalism has such a bad name recently, right? Like everyone's like wants to get rid of it. They say capitalism caused all these ills and stuff, or to argue it's the best thing ever. They
Yeah,
want like, why is the capitalism have like a bad moment right now, so to speak?
it's the stage of where we are, and at least for our country. I mean, if you this isn't the first time that a country who started from grassroots grew itself into a powerhouse, um, and then became so powerful that the people within it fight, and then young people who grew up and all they saw was the success of it start to resent it. So they look at other places in the world and they start to question everything around it, only for the system then to fall on itself, to go back to the grassroots and just rinse repeat that process over and over again. um, and people just don't know any better. I mean, I, here's what I say to people who always, and these are kids normally, by the way, that make those arguments. It's like, okay, well, what system do you prefer, and why don't you put yourself into that system? Because they always say that like on an iPhone. And it's like you say you don't like capitalism, but you just don't like looking at the worst parts of capitalism in a glass house. I mean, because you clearly love capitalism. You're wearing designer clothes and you're saying it's on an iPhone. Um, it just doesn't make sense, to be quite honest.
This I don't understand. Like you have all these people that like they're anti-capitalist, pro-socialism, but then like if socialism is so good, why does all these immigrants coming from Venezuela live in the United States, right?
Yeah.
Why are they trying to escape socialism and that failed system and come to the United States? That's one thing that I don't get.
Yeah, I commend you for even having a conversation with people. I'm open to doing here and there for just for academic reasons, for a thought
Yeah.
experiment. But whenever you see someone like really, really engaged in that kind of talk, I just talk it up as this isn't a serious person,
Yeah.
and more importantly, they're trying to do that kind of conversation instead of actually competing in the market.
Yeah.
Because you can in anything, you can always just quit the game and complain about the rules, or you can just learn how everything works and then see where you fit in it. And I'm not a revolutionary type. I'm just not. I'm not that. I'm not gonna. You never see me marching anything or protesting a single thing. I'll just learn like who are the players involved, how are they operating, and what do I need to do to further myself and my family personally.
So capitalism, it is a game, right? How does someone win at a game of capitalism?
Oh, well, produce value to the marketplace. And that can take place like it'll take the form of literally anything. I mean, I know people who make serious money on TikTok that make me think that like, why am I doing this slow process, a sales process business like investment banking? Um there's I mean, you just learn how to make money. Now, I'm saying just it's straightforward, it's simple but not easy, and the number one thing that I found the reason why someone doesn't uh produce something to make money in the marketplace is because they don't think that they can. You gotta you gotta have, what do we call it, cojones to really to say you want to like say bring in 1 million a year and then go out and actually execute on a plan that do it. They just don't think they can do it, or they don't see themselves as someone worthy of that kind of money. It's unfortunate, but there's a lot of ways to make money.
Do
A
you
lot of
think
ways.
that's because they're surrounded by the wrong people and they get the wrong mentorship, wrong environment, or is it something internally?
Both.
Okay.
Both. I mean, we just talked about $1 million. So if you do that, you're in the top 0.1%. Um, so they probably think it's hard to get in contact with someone that can do that. I don't agree with that. I've always thought it out. I mean, I always went out of my way since I was in high school to talk to those kind of people. Not even for them to give me money, but just understand how they think.
So do you think they might be intimidated to talk to these type of people? Like,
100%.
okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. 100%. Because there's so many laws